There are moments in politics when the ground shifts quietly beneath someone's feet, not with a sudden explosion, but with a slow, steady unraveling. And right now, that is exactly what appears to be happening to Zack Polanski, the Green Party leader, who just days ago was standing on a stage declaring that two-party politics was dead and buried. What GB News has been reporting this week tells quite a different story, one that is raising serious questions about who Zack Polanski really is, and whether the image he has carefully built around himself can survive the scrutiny now being directed at it. Let's start with what GB News broke, because this is the detail that genuinely stopped people mid-scroll. The Green Party leader has admitted that he falsely claimed to have worked for the Ministry of Justice. That is not a minor misremembering. That is not a CV typo. During his successful leadership campaign, Polanski stated he was currently working at the Ministry of Justice on their training and diversity programs, and when the Moj was asked directly, they said they had no record of him ever working for the department. Now, Polanski's team did offer an explanation. A spokesman said he had worked for something called the Justice Assessment Committee, described as a program to improve the diversity of justice appointments based within the Moj. But here is where it gets even more unusual. The only known public reference to a Justice Assessment Committee appears to be a comment made by Polanski himself during a City Hall meeting in 2024. What he was actually doing, it turns out, was working as a freelance actor through a temping agency, hired to help Okwango appointing judges with role-play scenarios. His team confirmed he had been placed through an agency that supplied actors for exactly that kind of work. There is something almost cinematic about that image. The future leader of a major British political party, playing a character inside a government building, and then years later presenting that chapter of his life as something considerably more official. And the thing is, this was not the first time his version of events had come apart under examination. GB News also revealed that Polanski falsely claimed to be a spokesperson for the British Red Cross, a claim that appeared on his personal website and during his crowdfunding campaign for his Green Deputy leadership bid in 2022. The British Red Cross said Polanski had never served as an official spokesperson and confirmed it had raised the issue with his team. The Green Party's response was that his references related to fundraising events he had hosted for the charity, which, by most people's reckoning, is quite a different thing from being a spokesperson. Then there is the hypnotherapy chapter. Polanski listed formal post-nominal letters on his website indicating membership of the National Council for Hypnotherapy. But it has emerged that he was never a full member, having only held student membership before qualifying. And with that, the Liberal Democrats moved. Their Home Affairs spokesman wrote formally to the National Council for Hypnotherapy, asking whether the body was aware of the allegations and whether it intended to launch a formal investigation. For anyone watching Polanski's rise over the past year, the contrast is striking. Since becoming Green Party leader in September 2025, he had led the party to record polling levels and a parliamentary by-election victory in Manchester. His energy, his combativeness, his outsider appeal, these were all working. But his rapid rise had left parts of his background relatively under-scrutinized. That scrutiny has now arrived, and it has arrived all at once. Polling conducted in recent days indicates his net favorability has dropped significantly, with the backlash having genuinely cut through with ordinary voters. For a politician whose entire brand rests on authenticity, on being the straight-talking alternative to the establishment, that is a particularly painful place to be wounded. Some viewers are already wondering whether these revelations change the Greens' momentum heading into what feels like a genuinely competitive moment in British politics. There is discussion around whether the party can ring-fence Polanski's personal credibility issues from the broader electoral gains they have made in London and beyond. Nothing has been confirmed about how this plays out internally, but the conversation is very much alive. What is clear is this: GB News has placed itself at the center of a story that matters beyond the usual political point scoring. These are questions about honesty, about the gap between who a politician says they are and who the records show them to be. And in an era when voters across the spectrum say they are exhausted by exactly that kind of gap, the charge carries real weight. Whether Polanski can steady the ship remains genuinely uncertain. The Greens made history last week in London. But the week that followed has told a considerably more complicated story, and the questions being asked are not going away anytime soon. If you have been following this one closely, drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay across everything happening in British politics and media right now, hit subscribe. There's plenty more still to come.